Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Super excited about today's video because I have one of my close family friends and my accountant here, Jonathan Hernandez from Truthful Taxes, and we're going to be talking about taxes with freelancers, with entrepreneurs, with influencers. As you guys know, I am a full-time influencer, and taxes has always been a very scary topic until I met Jonathan, and he was able to save my life and a lot of other people that I know that are freelancers, entrepreneurs, and influencers. So I want to introduce you to him, and he's going to give you guys a breakdown of everything that he's taught me so that we can share it with the world, because I know I'm not the only one who has these issues.
Hey guys, how you doing? I'm John Hernandez, the CEO and founder of Truthful Taxes, and I'm glad to be here with Ty, good friend of mine, actually for a long time already, and now we're ready to inflict a lot of knowledge on the influencing world, since it's a new topic, a new career, a new thing for everybody, and just try to get everybody on the same page so they know what they're doing for the rest of their lives, as long as they receive in 1099s and as an influencer themselves.
Can you tell us a little bit more about Truthful Taxes?
Okay, so Truthful Taxes is a company I formed about 13 years ago. I've been fired from every job, and not because as a bad employee. I just never actually wanted to work for anybody. So I started my own company, and my whole family has a financial history. We all like to deal with numbers. So when I started doing taxes, I actually fell in love with it. So in due time, after 13 years, we grew immensely, and then pretty much Truthful Taxes emerged. And at this point, we have 32 locations around the United States, and we're just at a point where we no longer need brick and mortar. It's all virtual. So just to make things easy, to be up to speed. You shouldn't have to sit with a person to do taxes. Everything should be virtual. So that's what Truthful Taxes is. We install a lot of knowledge and truth behind the tax world that a lot of people like to hide. And that's how my company emerged.
So question for you, there's so many different outlets you can do your taxes on. What makes Truthful Taxes different from the others?
Well, I would say the main thing is personal relationship. So, when you're on TurboTax, there's no relationship. This is just you and a computer. You speak to the computer and you hope to get an answer back. That's not going to happen, guys. All right. Another thing is, whenever you're dealing with somebody who has extreme knowledge in taxes, every situation is different. So you might actually benefit from living in a different zip code than another tax filer. Like somebody who lives in Miami will actually pay less taxes than somebody who lives in Florida, even though they made the same. And this is not something that TurboTax or any computer is going to tell you. Only a person can tell you. And that's the benefit of actually dealing with somebody who has knowledge of taxes. So that's why dealing with a person versus dealing with a software based is 10 times more better. And the simple fact that TurboTax is very, listen, I'll never discredit any platform of taxes, but you also got to remember that if you get hurt, would you repair your own leg or would you go to the hospital? You'll go to the hospital, correct? If you're doing surgery, you're going to do surgery on yourself or you're going to go to the hospital. You leave that to the pros. Taxes is surgery that results in a serious bill or a serious refund. If you're not a pro, leave it to the pros, since it's one time a year.
I completely agree. I think especially as an entrepreneur, freelancer, influencer, I think there's so much more that needs to be handled besides getting a regular W-2 and working for a company. That it's pretty self-explanatory, but I think as an entrepreneur, it's something you really need to definitely go to the
honest opinion. You want to hear my honest opinion regarding the influencer world? And don't get offended, Ty.
I won't.
I probably have about 30 influencers on my roster, and 99.9% of them did horrible when first meeting me. They did not.
Do you remember?
You too. You too. But you listened very well. That was the only difference, okay? But everyone, which is scary for me, when I see a coincidence happening, there's a problem. 1 or 2 out of 100, okay, they're just not, it wasn't briefed correctly. But when every single person, no matter what, one making 100, one making 300,000 is in the same boat, there's a major problem.
Yes.
And I'm addressing it because all this is knowledge. Knowledge should be based, should be free. And, that's something that me and you experienced. I had to break it down through the years for you to learn how to navigate through 1099s in order to save how much you're going to pay at the end of the year. But the influencing world is in bad shape with the basic knowledge of what they're going to be doing or how they need to operate in order to cut what they owe.
I completely agree. I think this is why we're doing this video, because people come to me and they're so scared. And I'm happy I was able to put other influencers onto Truthful Taxes and able to meet you and sit down and talk to you, because I know how much like my life changed when I became a full-time freelancing influencer. And I know that there's millions of other people, especially because this industry is so oversaturated. So I think this video and us talking is like really important. I just want to tell you guys a little bit about like our relationship. And in the beginning, I was coming from a full-time job. So I honestly was just used to doing regular W-2 taxes. And I had a regular family, someone who did my dad's taxes. And I was like, sure, I trust you, I guess, because my dad. So I remember going into the accountant's office and he was like, what do you do? And I think the most annoying thing that I have to do is explain my job, because people don't trust it. And I think whenever you're not, with a W-2 in hand coming into an accountant, they're already like, I don't want to deal with this because I don't know what you do for a living. So
it's more complex. That's why 1099s is like a spider web. It starts here, but then it could branch out like this. With influencers, it branches out like this, all over the place. And that's something that I knew right away with you. Once you would get into that world, I said, listen, we need to have a deeper conversation.
Yeah.
And whenever you when you leave your accountant's office, you should be totally influenced by them. And if that doesn't happen, there's a problem, because that is your money.
Exactly. You're trusting this person.
It's a reverse situation that needs to occur when you're accounting. You shouldn't leave with questions.
Yeah.
You leave with answers.
Yeah, I think my number one difference when I went to my other accountant was I was so uneasy. And I was like, I have no idea. Like, should I be uncomfortable because you don't know my job and you don't trust me and you're just putting me under marketing because that's the easiest thing for you to do instead of actually learn about it? That's what made me worried. And then speaking to other influencers and other freelancers, they were like, I hate doing my taxes. And I think that's the number one thing that I got from you and Truthful Taxes.
So that's the perfect trap, by the way, where I would say 90% of the accountants do in the world. They make you leave with a bunch of question marks so you can never leave again. Meaning like you're tied to them, okay? Because they're like, you know what? She doesn't know much, or he doesn't know much. Exactly. Time to charge them a lot because they feel like they're helpless. You should feel like, I don't need y'all no more. I know what I'm doing. But the reason why I won't leave y'all is because I feel comfortable.
Yeah. It's the relationships, like you said.
The relationship.
Yeah.
You have to go ahead and build that relationship so you can know your client's full situation, because like I said, Ty, you might make a certain amount, the next influencer might make a certain amount, but because the next influencer has 3 kids and a house and 2 cars, their situation is going to be different.
Yep.
And if I only give the effort forward to go, this is a 1099, okay, your bill's $40,000, take care, your bill probably would have been $10,000.
Yeah.
But it's influence I install on you within my tax knowledge in order for you to cut down your bill.
And then to pay it forward is really important, because the industry is growing so quickly, and there's
I've never seen this.
No one talks about it.
I handle CEOs of huge corporations, and they still don't make some of the money that some of these influencers are making. 400,000, 500,000, 600,000. CEOs, CFOs do not make that money.
And no one has a clue because no one speaks about it.
And if you never handle that type of money, what do you do?
Exactly.
What do you do? And what do you do when an accountant who sees a vulnerable 23-year-old making $500,000? They go like this. They keep you helpless so they can charge you $4,000 or $5,000. You know how long it takes to do a tax return, Ty? 30 minutes. Okay? If it's really long, 45. Okay? For me to make $5,000 in 45 minutes is amazing, guys. All right. That's a different hourly wage. All right. And that's where you need to be straightforward with people, be honest. And once they know their situation, your job is done. You actually get more people like that. Your company grows. This is how we grew from 4 clients in 2008 to a couple thousand right now with 32 locations. So, and it all becomes through knowledge. That's it. That's it. My knowledge inflicted on you makes you grow. And we continue from there.
Exactly. I want to talk about the receipt locker. I think that's something else that really changed the game for me. And every time I try to explain it to other people and they're like, what does your accountant have you do? And I was like, please touch on that because I think this is really important, especially for freelancers.
Yeah, so the Receipt Lock is a company I created after having Truthful Taxes for about 8 years. As I started growing, I started getting a lot of 1099 individuals, whether it was influencers or just regular people who did side jobs. And the one question when I came down to it, I said, where's your receipts? Where's your expenses? And it became, what do you, I have it in my shoebox. You can't tell that to the IRS. You can't tell them I have receipts in my shoebox. Doesn't work like that. It has to be neat. Because when they audit you, they say, we want to see line 17, meals. It has to be perfectly laid out. So we seen that it was a common problem. And me having an engineering background, I solve problems and put measures in place to mitigate it. So when we created True Receipt, it was a perfect digital audit folders for saving receipts digitally. Because what happens with receipts after a year, Ty? What happens?
They go missing. They
go missing and they fade and they fade.
Yeah.
So if it happens to be that
Garbage.
you get, you wind up throwing it away anyway. But if you get audited 3 years later and you send them a bunch of faded receipts, you fail your audit. The IRS is not going to go, okay, we're going to cut you a break because your receipts are faded. It ain't happening like that. So we started doing everything digital. And when you do it digital, makes it easier. We tie it to your phone. We have the whole rollout. We have every expense that you ever did for the whole year. All you got to do is give us your income. So that, and a quick example of that I want to show you is this. All your receipts per category in order. These are the 27 common folders. Well, 23 common folders in business. There's unlimited. Everybody can have their own different expenses. Like me, I buy pillows. If you see the pillow in the background up there, that's the company, that's the company logo. But everybody has their own different type of expenses. So there's unlimited categories to expenses, but the most common are these folders. And they get correctly and nicely put together in date order. We have all your expenses, and then we just take all your 1099s if you have 1 million of them, and it makes taxes 1, 2, 3 easy and audit proof. We can never guarantee an audit not to happen. But the one thing we could do is guarantee to defend the audit with what we put. Because when the IRS audits you, Ty, they don't audit you for all your receipts. They audit you for one specific sector. If you fail that sector, most likely you failed every other sector. And that's how it goes. So if we write a 40 grand in meals, it's because we got 40 grand in meals.
Yeah.
If it says 60 grand, but we only have 40, that's the problem. But we can only submit what we receive from you guys. So that's True Receipt. True Receipt's a digital platform that we built for 1099 and self-employed individuals or contractors specifically to solve that problem of the where's your receipt? Oh, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I think that really changed the game, especially for influencers, because our entire life needs to be expensed because we're constantly on the move, constantly eating, constantly working.
You guys don't have time to tape your receipts. You guys don't have time to put it on the paper and add it up and create a massive profit and loss statement. You guys don't have time for that. That's what True Receipt is. You do what you actually get paid to do. You get paid to take pictures and videos. What it is a picture. So it's just another, that's it.
Okay, so I am really excited because we are actually going to do a tax conference on Zoom, and we're going to hopefully try to keep these up monthly, maybe until as long as we can. We don't want to say exacts because you never know, especially with the times that we're living in. But on Tuesday is going to be our first one, and I'm really excited because I think this is the perfect time. Everybody's home. We can share this knowledge. We all have an extension on our taxes. I'm sure I'm not the only person who hasn't done theirs yet. I'm just being super transparent. Like, people wait to the last minute. So I think grabbing any type of knowledge that they can while they have this time is super important. So that is going to take place on Tuesday. That's our first one. Can you give them a little bit of a taste of what we're going to be talking about? Because this is kind of like an intro. I think we're going to go into way more detail about this on the actual Zoom conference. So I want people to see what they're going to look forward to.
Right. What we're basically going to be talking about is the main type of income that all influencers receive, 1099s. But there's many influencers who receive W-2s and all different types of incomes, but the majority of the income are on 1099s per job that you do per brand. That in itself is going to be a fun tutorial on Tuesday. Why? I actually open up the software in front of you guys, and I take your situation and we start moving the numbers, and then you'll see what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life and how it directly affects you when you get paid 1099. So that's some of the documents that we're going to be going over. 1099s, W-2s, EINs. A quick example of a 1099, especially for any influencer who this is your first year. This is how a 1099 looks. A 1099 basically says 1099 MISC. It's going to have the tax year. And in box number 7, it will say how much you got paid for that job. So if you work for L'Oreal and you did one job, one campaign with them, and they paid you $8,750, that is your income. And then you times that by God knows how many other 1099s you had. So that's what a 1099 is. And then, as everybody knows, W-2 is pretty much something like this. And many influencers who I come across still have a 9-to-5 as well, or a part-time gig and 1099s. And then we'll get into EIN, which is basically a business that most influencers begin to form as they start to progress with influencing in order to save on taxes and do much more different write-offs in order to basically cut their bill. So these are the 3 common documents that we're going to be going over on Tuesday during our Zoom. EIN, why it's important to obtain a business while doing 1099s, W-2s, and 1099s.
I'm so happy that you touched on all 3 of those, because I feel like those are like those are the top 3 questions that I get. And those are what I was kind of questionable about when I first started. So I'm really excited for us to actually be able to go into detail, because I know the Q&A is going to be crazy, because I know I'm not the only person who struggled with this. And I'm really excited, and hopefully we can keep these up until the influencer world and entrepreneurs and freelancers have a better idea of their money and how it's being paid back when it comes to taxes.
The good thing is this, I will say this, they every single conference that I've done with an influencer, it only took them 20 full minutes to really understand what they're going to be doing for the rest of their lives and how to handle 1099s. But every single person came in the same way, completely clueless, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a new field, uncomfortable. You got questions. Once you get comfortable, you become better at what you do. After 20 minutes, they're on point and they go, it's such a relief. I cannot show you how many text messages I received after the conference, and they go, John, I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders. And that's it. Once we do that, our job is done, because you know what you're doing. You can hire me and fire me. If you want to hire me, great, we'll work together. You fire me, you already know what you're doing anyway. All right?
Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Jonathan, thank you so much for doing this video with me. I'm super excited about our conference. All of Jonathan's information is going to be in the description box below, y'all. You can follow him on Instagram. You can email him. You can go on truthfultaxes.com. They are super reliable. I've been using them, and I'm just so excited to spread the knowledge and pay it forward. And I'm super excited for our conference. And I hope you guys like this video. And if you like more, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in my next one.
See you guys soon.
Bye.